Good day, parents. With our Open Conversation series, we're excited to share stories that help us make sense of complex topics. This week, morality. It is impossible to teach your child in advance the answer to every difficult situation that comes up. Rather, we are going to have to equip them to be able to distinguish between right and wrong as they encounter situations where they will have to decide. It seems to me that we cannot prescribe to them what to decide, but rather we need to teach them how to decide. There will probably also be times when they can't only consider what's right and wrong, but also what's better and not so good. And how do we do it? Perhaps it starts by talking about, in an age-appropriate way, what is going on in our minds and hearts, and consider together what the right and good decision in different situations may be. This can mean that we as parents can also share with what we struggle and what our process was to try to discern what God is leading us to. For example, I wonder how differently Cain and Abel's story would have turned out if Cain had only talked about his inner struggle. As we embrace life with Jesus, we also realize that this new life that He gives us leads us to want to do what is good and right. We then no longer do it just because we have to do it, but because the change He brings to our lives awakens something in us that wants to choose and live as He shows and guides us. Feel free to talk to your child about how one begins to think about what is right and wrong. What do we measure or test it against? What is important to remember when deciding? Feel free to continue the conversation by discussing a few case studies that you come up with beforehand. Remind each other that we do not have to figure out what is right and wrong alone, but that we have the Holy Spirit as our companion. He helps us differentiate even in the midst of variables, new information and challenges, and grey areas that cause great complexity. May we trust Him to help us find our way as we follow in Jesus' footsteps. Until next week, goodbye.